We're going to go through ankle mobility. I'm going to recap a couple of key points. The ankle and the hip are largely responsible for knee function. So at Back to Health, we always want to restore normal biomechanics, that is how the joints work, by taking the ankle and hip gradually back to their normal or optimal ranges of motion. So I'm going to show you what we want you to do. You can do this at home. First of all, to gauge the proper mobility in your ankle, and if you look at my shoe just as I step down, if you look when I'm walking, you'll see that my ankle needs to move a certain amount during my normal gait. And if it doesn't, that's going to cause a little change in how my hip moves while I walk. So it's really important to get this ankle moving correctly. Now, if you want to see how much mobility you have in your ankle, try putting 5 fingers against the wall, like so, putting your toe about 5 fingers distance out, keeping your foot flat on the ground, and can you see how that's flat on the ground? And coming in and seeing if you can actually touch the wall without your foot coming off the wall. Luckily mine does that, but if it doesn't, we know that we have to improve that mobility, otherwise you're not going to walk like you should, you're not going to hold your treatments like you should, and you're going to be more prone to wear and tear like you shouldn't. And so we're going to start with, before we do any mobility, we have to use something called a stick. We use these at Back to Health. We teach everyone to use them. We recommend everybody get one. And we want you to loosen the muscles up in the calf by coming in like this and rolling those guys out. And we like to put a little leverage down here on the ground and work the outside of the calf. And I'm just checking for any areas that are extra tender. You can find trigger points. Trigger points are very painful areas of the muscle. And if we get on an area that's really tender, I'm going to go over it for about 10 seconds. And I'm going to loosen it up, really untangle the knots before we stretch. Great. And then we're going to go ahead and go to the inside by sitting like this. I like to just be as efficient as I can, and we're going to loosen up the inside of the calf. This isn't going to be fun. It is going to hurt. When you untangle muscles, that's what happens. It's always tender. So once I get on an area for 10 seconds that's really sore, I check the other areas out. I've got a couple more, so I'm going to stay on that area there for 10 seconds. I'm going to come up into the upper part of the calf, check it. It actually is okay except for the inside upper. I'm going to go across this area now. And I want to just loosen all those areas up before I stretch. And then the stretch that I like to do, there's 2 of them. You can go like this, stay down low, put your hand on your knee, and just come forward and just rest your body weight to stretch out that calf really nicely. If this is not comfortable, or if you just can't feel a stretch because of the way you're designed, or